Welcome to House Is-a Ready or Not. I'm Brad.
And Cecilia, or Cece.
And Chesney's down here on the ground.
Or Bijan.
Should I pick him up?
Nah,
He's
12
sleeping.
years old. You'll see him on videos.
Yep. Join us for our Great Loop adventure. Please subscribe and like. Thank you. So this video is going to be about my irritation with Cummins, Onan, over a design flaw and lack of accountability. How about that? I'm not blaming the local guys. They can't eat that kind of cost, and they didn't cause the problem. It's the corporate, it's the mechanical engineer. They need to go back and check this guy, because whoever dealt with this issue, it's the dipstick and the drain tube, the dipstick fill tube. How about that? Is that the right word? Anyway, that's what this video is about, and the trouble I've had trying to get this fixed, and really haven't had no success. And there's going to be some people say, hey, we'll do this, do that, and I got you. There's things I can do. I may have to take it out on my own, but I'm not doing it now. Not at where we're at right now. I'm not going. If they'd have done it on their own and I had to sit here for 2-3 days for them to fix it, that'd have been fine. I'd have done that. But oh, sorry. But I'm holding this in my hand. But that was not a solution, or even an offered solution. The solution locally, which I said, and I'm blaming them, was like $1,700, and it probably would have cost more than that because they didn't know what they were getting into, which I shouldn't have to pay for. So that's where we're at, and then I think I will do an okay job presenting my case. If you have a 29 Ranger Tug somewhere, gosh, I don't know, 2011 through, I know a guy that his ball just fell off, the little ball at the end of that thing. He's got a 2020, same dipstick. You know, his may have the BW on it or whatever, BM, whatever it was, but it's the same dipstick, and his ball fell off. I'm like, and mine looks like it will. So they haven't really fixed anything in my mind. Anyway, you can be the judge. So the other day we went to Anchor and practicing, and we said we'll go sit around our generator and see how things work and all that kind of thing, which we hadn't used our generator much because we've been at a dock and had power pretty much everywhere. They tested it during the survey, but we haven't really used it. So I said, well, I need to check the oil. So I go down here, and this is where it is, that yellow cap. And I've already made the replacement, but I can't really hold this new. But anyway, that comes out. This is a rubber stopper. It fits in a gap. It's a little tight to get in there. I can't get my hand in there, but anyway, let me get it out and then I'll show you. So it's out. Here's the new one, and here's the old one. A little bit of difference. So when I pulled it out the other day, I'm like, where's the marks? There's no marks. There's nothing. And this one's not great, but it's on there. It's like a hatch mark. I don't know if you can tell it. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see. But you can tell there's some markings there. But that's a big difference. So I said, and I couldn't put it back. It wouldn't go back in. This thing is sharp, and it kept digging into whatever it was there, and wouldn't go back in. So I had to buy a new one. I asked the guy, I said, oh, well, what's that mean? Do I need to try to tear this thing apart and get out of there? He said, it probably fell down in the oil pan. It'll be fine. We'll see. I mean, it's longer than I thought. I don't know what it's doing, but it's going past. I put the new one in and it goes past it. So either it fell down in there or it's out of the way enough that it still works. So anyway, I'm not going to break it apart unless I have to. So, like I said in the previous part of my oral diatribe, where we're at in the video now, that happened in March. I didn't know all this other stuff. We stopped in Scotia. It's on the wall of the Erie Canal. Stayed a couple nights. Hadn't used our generator for a while. Was going to check my oil again. Like I said, I had already replaced my dipstick with a new dipstick that I ordered. I paid $80-something for. Pull it out, and it's broken again. So now there's 2 pieces of dipstick in there. I can't check my oil level, and I'm like, I mean, there's no oil showing around. It's not like I can see a leak, but does that mean I shouldn't be checking my oil? I don't think so, you know. So it broke again, and so the next day I started calling. I have a model number, Cummins. It's an ONAM, but it's made by Cummins. Model number 5MDKBH-5238D with a serial number of C110200857. Hopefully you can read this. Let me zoom it in just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So this is a product support bulletin that Cummins sent me, the national Cummins, not a local distributor. And you can see here, issue date February 4th, 2011, and it was revised right here, February 9th, 2014. Okay, this is revision 3. So they've done 3 revisions on this time, okay? And it says broken oil indicator, call it dipstick. And the models, right there, okay? If you can't read this, there have been reports from the field of the oil indicator breaking on the models listed above. It is determined the material was not meeting hardness requirements. This has been corrected. Failed indicator, okay? So here's where it breaks, and here's 6 inches of it that stays in the oil pan. The broken section of the indicator does not need to be removed from the engine. The broken section of the indicator will remain in the oil sump and will have no effect on performance or lubrication. If the broken section of the oil indicator is lodged in the fill tube, replace the oil fill tube. Order, install a replacement indicator. The part numbers have not, this is sort of the important part. The part numbers haven't been changed. The revised indicators can be identified by letters BW stamped or printed above the full mark. Okay? BW, BW. Okay, now the problem with that is, who knows that? Unless you have this form, how would you know that's even a thing? So, and like I said, this was in 2011 and 2014. So if that's the case, and mine broke again this year they sent me in March of 2026, how do they still have those on the shelf? And how would the guy know that's ordered the parts to even look at it to see if it had a BW on it? So that's a stupid. You should change the part number, and the new ones have a different part number, right? That is not what you do. Okay, I'm gonna show you this other thing. See this picture of this little ball here? I'm gonna let you see mine on the new one they sent me. Okay, so and if you'll notice, this is a flat piece of metal. The dipstick is one of those flat ones, not the woven cable that a lot of things have that bend a lot easier. This is flat, and really a flat piece of metal is made to bend up and down, not side to side. That thing is not going to bend that way. It's going to bend towards us and away from us. But we'll see all that in a little bit. So here's the other thing the guy sent me from Cummins. Cummins Part US, see, at Cummins.com. So this is not at Bob's Cummins Repair in Idaho. This is actual Cummins. But so here's the dipstick they show. Okay, and it doesn't look like that. But here's the tube. And it does look like this, except you can't tell how much bending it does. So, just so you know, here's the 01232236. That's the official part number for this dipstick. Okay, flat. Let me see, flat, thin. And here is the new. I'm upside down. I don't know if you can read it or not, but it says BW. I'm gonna try to twist a little bit and see if the light will hit it right. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right here, BW. And then it says, what's that? Full, and some marks, and add. Wait 1 second. Get a little more space. Okay, now this, I hope you can see that ball. That doesn't look too bad. I can't really tell if it's blurry or not, but right there, that doesn't look too bad from there. Let's get sideways. Okay, there's that. Okay, and then this, and it's not even. There's an edge right there. It's there's right here. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. If I put it on, maybe it helps put something black behind it. But I don't know if you can see that any better. Come on, screen. Stay filming so I can see. Okay, so pretty crappy design. Okay, it's like it's just welded on, tacked on there. I had a guy, just so you know, there's a guy that had a 2020 Ranger Tug, same generator basically, and his ball came off in his. Really? Yeah, they have those ones with like I said, stranded cable and a plastic thing on the end that would go through here. Okay, so this is supposed to go. I don't know if you can see all that all the way. Let me lay that down for 1 second. Ugh. Okay, so this tube, that's the way it faces in my engine. So I have to take my dipstick and come in from the camera and go in this way. Okay, so flat, think of that, flat, okay? It's flat. To make that bend into there, it's gotta go in this way. How does a flat piece of metal make that and then turn 90 degrees almost down to here and then make another 90? That's 2 90s to change directions, and then another one, and then this thing here. What I can't see it. Is that just a hole it has to hit? It's got this rubber tube. Does the rubber tube line up with that perfectly? I don't think so. I'll show you. Is it the shape of a cone that pushes in there? I don't know. And then look how tiny it gets at the end. Okay, just so you know, look there, look at there. How much that is. What's the tolerances on that? Then it's got another little place. It's got to get through that little thin place there. Okay, now watch. I'm going to show you this. So it comes in like that. All right. So it has to come in on my boat, which I can't blame them for that. How it has to come in. But look here. That's me trying to push it. It can't twist a little bit right there. It makes that twist. Okay. Now I just want to turn that way. Where's it going? Is it going in? Nope, not easily. You know, do you twist it? What do? You can't see any of this. You have no idea where that's going. Okay, so where's that hitting at? So let's go here. So there, to that curve, to here, somewhere in this thing here. It's hard to get through, okay? And the guy said, I had a guy come out to look at it. We were talking. He said, well, maybe it had some oil on it. It would slide through there. He finally got it through. But come on. Come on. Really? That's your design, Onan, Cummins, whoever, Cummins, this? And this is your idea? And you hire, I'm assuming you hire mechanical engineers. This is garbage. So how is this my fault that this thing breaks and sticks in my engine? They wanted $1,700, and I'm not blaming the local people because, you know, they gotta get paid. But Onan, the big corporation, Cummins, sorry, the big corporation Cummins should say, wait a minute, this is we could do better than this. I could design. I'm a high school grad and I could design a better stinking dipstick than this. Why? Why didn't they make it metal all the way? This solid tube. Why didn't they just make a solid tube where it would slide the whole thing in? Why didn't they make a wire dipstick? Why did they not make it straight even? If they kept the bends in line, this dipstick could make a curvy back and forth and not have a problem. But all this daggum weird turns, who came up with this idea? And how's it still on there? That was, like I said, in 2011 they knew they had a problem, and that was their fix to make this thing harder. I'm an extremely high-tech channel. Kidding. I do have an endoscope, so this is the camera. That's what you do here. And there's it's got a light on it. Anyway, so it sees down, you know, things. And I thought, heck, I'm gonna send it down that new tube they sent me and see what that joint looks like where the metal. Give me a second. That joint where the metal and the rubber hit. See what that's like. Hopefully it's not as bad as I feel it could be because of the way the dipstick works. But anyway, let's see. Okay, so we're getting ready to insert. If it goes in there, it's hard to do with your hand. Okay, but anyway, Let's get this little, I can adjust this. I'm gonna see if I can, okay. What if I turn that light off? Hold on a second. Turn this light off, see if it makes any better. Where is it? No, that one. That's all better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So, it started in, but it's hard to, look like it might be angled a little bit in the way. And the problem is, even with this thing, it turns, but it only goes one direction. It goes like, say north and south, not east and west. So, over there to straighten out some. Still in the black part. Running down the sides, you're seeing more side than anything. Okay, but oh, right there. That is the, let's see, pivot a little bit. It doesn't make any difference. Now it's like it's stuck. If that back up just to, no, it's not wanting to turn, so it must be the wrong angle. But anyway, so it's hard to tell, but that there is a lip there. Let's see if we back up and see. Now turn a little bit there. There you go. So I can see that little lip. Looks almost rubbery there. I don't know. It's not smooth. I mean, that's pretty obvious right there. It's not smooth. But that's definitely a place something can hang up, you know? Like right now my thing's hung up on it. I want to break it. It doesn't look like it is, but it is somehow because it's not moving past that point easily, and it's not worth me tearing it up. Because it's sort of hard to pull out. And this thing's pretty flexible. So imagine how great let me turn that up. Imagine how great the perfect dipstick will do. Anyway, Cummins, my wrath is upon you. So, what's Brad's solution? Well, this is laying on my table, and this is here on my table also. So, to get to my generator, I think I'd have to take out, well, to get my generator, sorry, I'd have to take out my stove so I can reach back in there to get to the bolts that are loose. Could I do that? Yeah. Am I gonna do it? Not now. So I'm just gonna try to, the guy said if I run low on oil, it will shut off. So I can't really check my oil, because if I stick that one in there and it breaks, just because they put a BW on, do I trust it? No. If I stick down there, it breaks. I mean, how many times am I gonna have pieces of chunk down in my thing? And I have to, at some point, I'm gonna have to try to change the oil. I haven't run it that much and I bought it, but it's gonna happen. Am I gonna be able to get the little tube down am I gonna be able to get the tube down in there to suck the oil out? I don't know. I do not know. But like I said, I normally don't trash things. I don't think that's the way to handle it. If you don't like something, just don't deal with it. Like a restaurant, if I don't like the food, I just won't go. That's how I handle it. I don't go and put it all over the internet. But this is a big company, and they had a problem, and they chose to fix it for whatever reason. And here I am 15 years later still dealing with a problem that should have been fixed in 2011. So thanks, Cummins.